What is up, everybody? Turboverse TV here today, and we have to talk about this nonsense once again. People are out there trying to convince you so hard that this Baldur's Gate 3 is a PlayStation 5 exclusive at this point. Not only do we have fanboys like the one from yesterday, MPG, and how one of the developers had to tell this guy this is not a PS5 console exclusive, mate, and now we have journalists doing the same type of tactic, trying to claim Baldur's Gate 3 as a PS5 RPG. Once again, this game is on PC as of the moment. It's not even on PS5 yet. And then again, it's coming to Xbox at a later date. So this is not a console exclusive. But the gaming media, along with Sony fanboys, want you to believe that this is only on PS5 console-wise. When it's like, what is going on here? It's literally a widespread misinformation at this point. And it's just, literally what this guy says, it is insane. They have nothing to do with the game. PlayStation having anything to do with this game. Sony, nothing to do with this game. But people are trying to market this game as a PlayStation RPG. Maybe because they don't have a big contender to go with Starfield, or maybe because their first party lineup is super dry. They're using third party games as competition for Starfield. Either way, it's just sad and pathetic. Once again, an official game journalist wrote an article saying PlayStation 5 RPG to rival Starfield, beat Zelda on Metacritic. So, this is so hilarious. He has to use a third-party game to compare against an Xbox exclusive game, and Xbox's biggest exclusive games of this year, and to compare it to Nintendo's biggest exclusive game of this year with Zelda. That is just sad. They can't even use Spider-Man as an exclusive talking point. They gotta use a third-party game that's gonna be on Xbox eventually. It's just like, that is just embarrassing. Now, yesterday I did a video saying how PlayStation's first-party lineup is pretty dry. Then I made the mistake to include Microsoft in that conversation, and their first-party lineup is dry, when that is not the case. They have released so many first-party games this year. Redfall, Minecraft Legends, they're releasing Forza, and now they released Starfield. So Xbox is releasing more first-party than Sony at this point. Sony has released more first-party TV shows and movies over games, and that's very concerning. Like, we see more first-party TV shows and movies over actual first-party video games be released this year. So it's just fascinating. I just want to take credit. Like this guy says, PlayStation has a rich history of taking credit for others' work. At least Xbox owns what they claim. That is very true. Because Square Enix has been carrying PlayStation for this entire year, pretty much. As someone who has played this for several days, I can safely say that this is not a game that was developed for the console. This is kind of disrespectful to Larian. Give them the credit for their own game that they have worked on for 7 years. Yes, they don't want to give the developers credit. They just want to give it to PlayStation. It's not even on no console that they're championing for, which makes no sense. Then he wants to equate this with the Bethesda recent games, like all of which Xbox have nothing to do with, unless purchasing now means it was their idea. It doesn't matter. I mean, they bought Bethesda. Bethesda's part of Xbox now. Unlike with Larian has nothing to do with Sony. So there's a big difference there. They sit on a throne of lies. This is not even a console exclusive. This game was originally coming to Xbox Series S and X, but not next to Starfield release date, because that would be suicidal. Yeah. Do you really need two big RPGs so close to each other? So I don't mind this game being delayed. Like, who's gonna have time for Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield if you're into Western RPGs? It's like, I'm fine. It's a delay. I'm okay with the delay. The game is not even on PlayStation yet. They are wilding out. Okay. This is sad. Whoever decided to write this needs to be fired, as well as the person that okayed it for media consumption. Yeah, just embarrassing. They can just write these just blatant misinformation about these games, and people might actually think that this game is a PS5 exclusive when it's not. It's coming to Xbox eventually, just not right now. They're just misleading people at this point. It's just they only care about the clicks. Even if that means lying to the gaming community, they would care about clicks. They would sacrifice integrity just to lie to get some clicks at this point. Even when the developers come out and have to say this nonsense, they still lie. Like, Maybe the developers, maybe the company just needs to put a disclaimer say this is not a PS5 exclusive. This is going to Xbox eventually on the box at this point, so people can get that this is not only a PS5 exclusive. Typical, but still disgusting. What the F? Baldur's Gate 3 isn't a console exclusive. But if you look at the internet, that's all people are saying. This game was a PlayStation exclusive when it's like it's not. But they keep pushing that narrative out there. It is pretty weird and super shillish, but it makes you wonder, why does it seem like the media and the world seems to love PlayStation so much? Yeah, the fact that they even lie about PlayStation to the point where they would lie about it. PlayStation guys can't even play this game at the moment. This is outrageous. This really is pathetic. They are really trying to make it seem as though Baldur's Gate is a PS5 exclusive, even though they know it's coming to Xbox. That is super disingenuous at that point. That's super disingenuous. Anything to make PlayStation seem better than it actually is. Instead of making these dumb articles, they need to talk about how PlayStation's first party is so dry. Maybe they wouldn't have to be reduced to these ridiculous articles. Baldur's Gate 3 is being called PS5 exclusive timed, of course, in the same way you guys called Xbox exclusives that game about. Okay, so he's referring to High on Life, but at the time we didn't know High on Life was coming to PlayStation, so that's a big difference. We know Baldur's Gate 3 is coming to Xbox. We didn't know High on Life was coming to PlayStation, so they keep making these real weird comparisons. Like, it's a big difference. They keep making excuses to why these people are being so disingenuous about this Baldur's Gate 3 game. Like, it's not the same. Xbox did the same with Elden Ring last year. I don't remember this talking point what people would say Elden Ring was an Xbox exclusive. I don't remember that at all. It's like people clearly knew that game was on PlayStation. I think it was sold more on PlayStation too, so I don't know what this guy was talking about. He said, pat yourself on the back, you're just a terrible journalist. Then he says, reading comprehension beating y'all asses in perpetuity. When it's like, is it really? I mean, this is like blatant being disingenuous about this game being exclusive or not. It's a pity that even in the game journalism community there's fools who spread misinformation. Besides, we're being honest, only RPG, the PS5 that can compete is Final Fantasy 16, since it's exclusive to them and only them for now at least. And once again, that's not even Sony's first party, so it doesn't even count. PS5 RPG clown. I think that was a good summary to conclude that right there. It's like, it's just getting sad at this point. I mean, I get it. They only got Spider-Man 2, and that game looks pretty much like Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man from 2018 and Spider-Man Miles Morales looks pretty much the same. But come on, at least prop up that game to compete with Starfield or Zelda. Don't use some third-party game as the combat Xbox and Nintendo's exclusives. It's just getting sad. You just spread misinformation at this point. Once again, not only are fanboys doing it and developers that call them out, but we get actual game journalists as well, which is pretty sad and pathetic. But definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like for this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and peace.